The question, how does spinning cause dizziness? How does spinning cause dizziness? With a specific angular momentum, I would assume that a person would feel no effects other than the odd pattern of air brushing against their body tangentially. However, we feel dizzy after spinning in a chair for a minute. I'm assuming that it must come from a changing sensory input. Any thoughts? Well, I think most of us feel dizzy when we stop, yes? So perhaps any dizziness that results from continued spinning is caused by fluctuating velocity. Anyway, that's my understanding. The classic explanation for dizziness is that our default motion sensor, the vestibular system in the inner ear, simply can't respond quickly enough to rapid changes in rotational velocity. That's to say, if you suddenly stop, the system lags a bit until it senses the stopped state. In the meantime, you get lots of mismatches between the proprioceptive orientation signals and your actual orientation. A sensory integration and processing system argument erupts, as it were, and you feel disoriented or dizzy until it's sorted. Why is this so? The vestibular organs include 3 fluid-filled chambers or canals that sense rotation of the head. Basically, tiny hairs extend from sensory nerve cells into the fluid or endolymph, converting any movement into neuronal transmissions. When you spin, you rotate your head, I hope, and the endolymph, being a bit big, no offense, resists the change in motion a bit and effectively lags a little before stimulating the nerve cells. Those cells are part of the sensory system and help establish our orientation. If you keep spinning, the lag disappears and you get used to it. But when you stop, or perhaps slow significantly, the endolymph does the same trick in reverse, namely it resists or lags for a bit until the fluid loses its inertia. That's where you get the sensory mismatch. Basically, most of your senses, be they tetraside or sound or whatever, are telling you that you've stopped or slowed spinning, but your vestibular organs are saying otherwise. Interestingly, with enough steady, incremental practice, you can condition yourself to decouple, or ignore, the vestibular input and rely instead on your other senses and trained-up reflexes. In that way, you effectively reduce or eliminate the dizziness. Ice skaters apparently do exactly this sort of conditioning to cope with rapid spinning. Effectively, they build up a suite of highly routinized, pre-programmed movements that are run on demand, irrespective of what the vestibular system is saying. Another technique involves slower rotation and fixed spot practice. Basically, you choose a spot to focus on and rapidly snap your head back to that position with each rotation. Dancers are more likely to use this technique. The brain regions involved here are the cerebellum, where sensory input from the vestibular organs is processed, and the cerebral cortex, where the mismatched information is consciously recognized as dizziness. Further reading: The neuroanatomical correlates of training-related perceptuo-reflex uncoupling in dancers. https://www.sciencedaily.com/role